What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Monday Night Football, DFS and betting Q&A. Kyle Dvorchak, Lawrence Jackson, Vaughn Dalzell here. We want to welcome you guys all in. Make sure you drop your questions. We're going to answer them, have some fun like last week. First things first, guys. Week one, definitely an exciting week of football, betting or fantasy. What was the best thing to happen to you guys? Was it a favorite team? You finally won a league? What is it? Definitely not Cam Akers, Lawrence. I know that.
Well, I can actually start off with Cam Akers. I actually posted something on Twitter today of three of my fantasy teams that had Cam Akers in it. And I wrote that I survived Cam Akers week one because of Justin Jefferson. Either Justin Jefferson and the other league was Cooper Kupp. They lifted me from the 6 feet under that I was in after starting Cam Akers. And when you saw what Justin Jefferson doing, and he was doing it so quickly, like getting in the end so quick, I'm like, this is what I need. Then, Kareem Hunt helped the brother out a little bit. So, just Justin Jefferson was the best thing to happen to me in fantasy this weekend because I started Cam Akers.
Yeah, for me, it was Jalen Hurts just absolutely balling out. Great fantasy day. Started off a little shaky as a passer, but as soon as he decided that he was only ever going to target A.J. Brown, absolutely popped. A.J. Brown, just beyond sick. Just watching A.J. Brown, even if I didn't have him in fantasy, of course I did, because he's like a top 5 talent going in the 3rd round of drafts. So, of course, I had a ton of him. But even if I didn't, just a blessing to watch that man play football.
Yeah, no, I was super hyped to have A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts on separate teams. They said in Eagles camp, the offense is going to run through him. Shocked that Miles Sanders had the day that he did. I did get a text from my boy saying I should have kept Miles Sanders in the 3rd round. I was like, just 1 week, my guy. Just 1 week.
Yeah, but also had 2 backup running backs score touchdowns too. So it's
you made the right move. 3rd round, that's a tough go right there.
Yeah, it's one game. But a couple things I want to point out. The Giants getting the dub was super exciting for them. That was insane. The Titans missed the field goal. I'm a Steelers fan, and once Mike Tomlin bought the entire team black Air Force Ones, I knew what it was.
That was hard. Yeah.
you know, if you see a guy walking down the street in black Air Force Ones, you should probably avoid that human being. He's an aggressive guy. But if he's wearing white Air Force Ones, he's cool. So just a little point of advice for you guys. But
right.
Monday Night Football is here, gentlemen. We had a couple props we hit. Missed a couple. Allen Robinson let us all down Thursday night. But Monday Night Football, the return of Russell Wilson to Seattle. Broncos laying 6.5. It was 3.5 earlier in the season. Over-under sitting at 44. Initial reactions, guys. Open the floor. Whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, the line set at a reasonable spot here. You got the over under at 44. Based on what we saw out of the Seahawks offense in the preseason, you could kind of parallel that with what we saw out of the Patriots offense preseason, and it probably will carry on to this game here, which was not a lot. We didn't see a lot. Yeah, Geno won. He won the. He wasn't a quarterbacking job, but it was like, as they say on social media, Drew Lock and Geno Smith was having a mid off. You know what I'm saying? So it really, ain't really. You see that 44 right there, and I got no problem with taking the under on that, especially since we got the under in the Thursday night game, which shocked a lot of people. I could see it as, and it's probably basic thinking, but it makes sense as, the Broncos scoring most of those points. It could probably get close to the 44, but I see it going under, and I'm sure y'all see it close to the same way, being a blowout.
Yeah, I don't think it's a particularly great game. I mean, to me, top to bottom, the Seahawks have the worst roster in the NFL. I think even when you look at them compared to teams that are surprised us, but I still think aren't good, like the Bears. The Bears have 1 or 2 players who can really, they have a quarterback who can change the dynamic of a game. He also might not be that good, but there is just no hidden upside on this roster. There's nowhere you look around and you say oh, this is how they're going to go out and win games. I would love to say it is someone like, Rashad Penny, who looked great at the end of last year, but their offensive line starting 2 rookie tackles, comes into the season as one of PFF's lowest ranked units. The receivers, they can't make that much of a difference when they're catching passes from Geno Smith or down the road Drew Lock. So the things I like about them are minimized by their impact, at least, is minimized by the things I don't like about this team, which is most of the rest of it.
I mean, I'm going to be on the opposite side of you guys here. And it's going to be on the opposite side of the entire world because 80, 90% of tickets are betting the Broncos. Everyone thinks, I mean, I'm not going to debate that the Broncos are not a better team because they are. I mean, that's clearly, but week one is definitely a special type of year. We see a lot of underdogs be able to cover, if not win. But I do want to point out, too, when you have a head coach that has coached under that quarterback for, 10 years and then he's on the opposite sideline, that's a pretty good opportunity for that coach to be able to figure out what to do with that quarterback, in my opinion. But Lawrence was talking about before the show about the Seattle secondary. They were atrocious last season. One thing that didn't help Seattle was they allowed the most plays per game in the NFL, but they were 12th in points per game at 21.6 points per game, which I found very interesting. So I like the under a lot in this game. We'll be talking about that a little bit more, but we should probably get to some of the viewer questions here. So you guys can take this. KJ Hamler, what are you thinking?
I mean, it's good overall for the offense. You get that third wide receiver, early in the preseason, they lost Tim Patrick for the season. So before that injury, it was going to be kind of hard to figure out where KJ Hamler was going to fit in. Now we know. So now we got, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and now KJ Hamler, the real guy to take the top off the defense, even though the other two receivers, had that ability as well. I see it as just as, just another option for Russ to cook out here. It's kind of a dart throw if we talking DFS here, because we do know that KJ Hamler got that big playability. He could be Robbie Anderson type, having 27 yards going into the fourth quarter, and boom, he pop off with a 70-yard touchdown catch deep. So I just see it as that nothing crazy, something just to help out the offense a little more.
I think I like Hamler a little more than you do, at least in the sense of I think he fits just so perfectly with like Russell Wilson's skill set. He is very Tyler Lockett-esque, and he was coming off an injury and I don't think he did anything at the combine, but the closest we could surmise was that he probably runs somewhere in the low 4.3s, judging based off hand timing a kickoff return touchdown he had. That was just the greatest time in Twitter when it's the middle of the dead of the off season, nothing to talk about. So guys are just out here charting frame by frame KJ Hamler's kick return 40 time, but he has like a physical skill set very similar to Tyler Lockett and Jerry Jeudy, who I love. I think Jerry Jeudy is awesome, but there's some fragility here in that Jerry Jeudy has really not shown as much at the NFL level. And I love him. I think he will break out this year, but if you can just pick up KJ Hamler for free, I'm assuming like you're cutting some scrub who didn't do anything, over the weekend. I'm assuming you're cutting some guy who's not a big deal. I definitely pick up Hamler. No guarantee that he does anything tonight, but I like having him as a stash versus some other players that I'm sure are filling the back ends of like all of our rosters.
You better believe if you have a big game, he's gonna be picked up.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you're doing DFS tonight, would you guys rather be putting any of the tight ends over KJ Hamler, like Albert O, Noah Fant, any of these type of guys in a flex spot?
I would say Albert O with Greg Dulcich out of the picture for now for at least the first month of the season. And I wasn't as high on Albert O coming into the season, but situations change and Dulcich was competing with him for snaps in the tight end spot. But the Seahawks last season, one of the worst teams at covering the tight end. So for that reason is why I would probably go Albert O over KJ Hamler tonight. I think you can see just a tad more volume.
Yeah, I have a little more Albert O than I have KJ Hamler, just because we know he's locked into I would assume locked in might be a little strong, but I really don't see like Eric Saubert or Eric Tomlinson doing anything other than coming out for some run blocking reps. And Albert O has been just incredibly efficient in his 2 years of somewhat limited time. So I am very, very excited to see my first game of Albert Okuigbunam as the starting tight end. And I was super high on him going into the summer and all the Greg Dulcich hype. I really sucked out on this Albert O thing. I definitely, if he plays well, for the first month of the season, I really don't deserve his points because like the team wanted Greg Dulcich to be the guy. And I just kind of ran good with this.
I was pretty excited to hear you say Albert O's last name when I saw you were like writing about him today, Kyle, because I'm honestly staying away from him, man. Can you give us a do it more time? Give it to
Albert Okuigbunam is how I believe it is pronounced, and I can spell it too, I believe.
Hey, look, I tell you what, if he ball out, people gonna learn his name, and all you had to do is listen to all you gotta do is look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. Remember when everybody couldn't say his name until he became the man? So if Alberto becomes that guy, then people gonna know his name.
Not that guy was Cam Akers. Are we keeping him? Bo 404 wants to know. And shout out to the fantasy football bandits. Like he said, smash that like button for the boys.
Yeah, you're keeping Akers mostly because I don't think we have any slam dunk pickups yet. Like if the Najee Harris injury seemed to be really bad, I would say you can probably pick up Jaylen Warren over Cam Akers, but the Najee news that has come out is really, it looks pretty good for him.
Dude.
Or if I had a strong opinion on the 49ers backfield, but they have 3 capable running backs behind Eli Mitchell, that any of them will probably project similarly to Cam Akers in a committee. And I think Cam Akers sees more work going forward. Not sure how effective he is on it, but any chance, Lawrence, you take Jeff Wilson over him now that what is the timeline? It's 8 weeks of Eli Mitchell out.
I won't do that because because you know what that is. That's a rental right there. That's a month rental. I still got some faith in Cam Akers, especially after James Robinson did his thing. I feel like what's going on with Cam Akers is, a little more than football. Sean McVay used to love this man. They were best friends or something. But it's now he talking in the media, kind of talking down on him. So it must really be something. And shout out to Bo 404, because that's actually my brother right there. So what's happening?
Hey, that's awesome. It was great to see the fam on here. I do want to say back to the Jaylen Warren point, because I went to Steelers camp being a Steelers fan, and I was amazed at how good Jaylen Warren looked, because I liked him a lot in college at Oklahoma State, but he's very versatile. And he fits exactly what they'll be looking for, especially with the zone cutback scheme. And then he has good hands. So yeah, I would get Jaylen Warren if you don't have him already. I would grab him in dynasty leagues too. I cuffed him up this year. Devontae Smith, panic levels at Cam Akers, and then we're gonna get to our favorite touchdown bets.
It's close for me. It's close. Dude, AJ Brown's just so good. The thing is, how could we have seen this coming? Maybe it's because AJ Brown has been one of the 2 or 3 most efficient players every single year since he's entered the NFL. And Devonta Smith is good, but AJ Brown is just a whole nother level. And I think it's really going to be a problem for both Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert to be weekly contributors. I still think we're going to get really good splash games from them, because I think the passing attack should be good. But what we saw last week, or I guess, yesterday, was a pretty standard run heavy approach from the Eagles, not nearly as pass heavy as we would have liked. Some of it, actually a lot of it, was scrambles that are just pass attempts that turned out to be rush attempts. They're not designed, at least. But still, I think the team is at best balanced a little towards the pass compared to last year. They were just all run. And that's probably not enough if AJ Brown is just going to see a 30% target share. So Devonta Smith, yes, he's in that territory. I don't know if it's more or less, but it's close, where I do not feel good.
Yeah, I mean, we talking about a guy who got over 960 receiving yards as a rookie. Things change a lot when you get a top dog like AJ Brown. He gonna have his games. He had a whole year to Jalen Hurts did to build up his chemistry with Devontae Smith. I liken it to Mike Williams. He had a bad game week 1. Now I don't know if Devontae Smith got that rest of the season upside like Mike Williams do, but he'll have his days here and there. I don't know if he'll get that 960 to 1,000 yards again, because you figure, with all the running that they do, AJ Brown gonna get his 1,300. He gonna get that. It's just hard for me to imagine another guy coming close to that. Also, when you got Dallas Goedert to distribute targets to, but he'll have his days. He's a good player.
No, I like that breakdown a lot. I think Devontae Smith, he's not a lost cause yet, but there are a lot of mouths to feed. And they're going to quit on the running game, especially with Jalen Hurts being so mobile. I'm super excited for him this year. I really think the Eagles are sleepers for the 1 or 2 seed in the NFC, especially with Dak going down now. The NFC East is wide open for the Eagles to be taken. So, favorite touchdown bets tonight. We got some first touchdown scores, some anytime touchdown scores we wrote down for some lunch money. I'll start off. This guy just got engaged or married over the weekend, Tyler Lockett. No idea if that's going to be something that is great for him and he comes out pumped up, or he's going to come out a little sluggish and not be into the game. So it depends on how you look at this. But when we're talking lunch money, I mean, I'd like to think the guy that just, had arguably the best weekend or day of his life, hopefully, that he would be scoring a touchdown. So, if we're sprinkling some cash, I got Tyler Lockett tonight. What do you guys got?
I have Alberto. I believe he's plus 1,300. I have in the show sheet. Alberto is just the perfect physical profile of a red zone dude. He's like 6'5" and like 250 some odd pounds. And we saw it in college too, as I would imagine he was like 17 or 18 at the time, scored 13 touchdowns at Mizzou. Like clearly he's physically built for this. And Russ is just the touchdown throwing god. So I'll take Alberto here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with slightly better odds and go with Melvin Gordon here, man. If everything fall the right way at plus 900, I could easily see Melvin Gordon, getting near that goal line, and falling in there for that easy touchdown. You might get Javonte Williams starting off the drive right there. He get all the reps. You know how they do in these committees. They let the one guy get down there, then he need a breather. It's basically what happened to DeAndre Swift yesterday with Jamal Adams vulturing them touchdowns. That's kind of how I see it being able to play out for Melvin Gordon here. And he is their returning leading rusher, believe it or not. So I'm going to go with Melvin Gordon at plus 900.
I like that a lot. I wanted to ask you guys this because I didn't tweet it out, and I was really upset with myself about not tweeting it because I told multiple people I think I'm definitely playing Baker Mayfield rushing touchdown, revenge game back against his old team. He gets it done. It was plus 400 and plus 700 on separate books. So my question to you guys is, revenge tutty, Russell Wilson tonight? What do you think?
Shoot, I could definitely see it. I mean, I'm already on another bet that involves his passing and rushing, so it's definitely in play. And I think Baker ran that in from like the 6-7 yard line or something. You got Russell Wilson; he could run that thing in from 15 to 20. So it's definitely there for the taking, and in this type of game as well. Like don't let when these guys say, "Hey man, this is just another game." No, it ain't. That was not another game
No,
for Baker Mayfield. And this is it's definitely not another game for Russell because he been there. He done led this team to a Super Bowl. So, hell yeah, that's worth betting, man.
Kyle, you got any intake on that? Are you sold to Lawrence laid it out?
I do like Lawrence's argument. The only thing I would say is that we saw Russell Wilson's rushing kind of come back down last year, and it's kind of consistently dropped off since he was a younger player, which makes sense. That's probably the career arc of a guy like Russell Wilson, who isn't so reliant on his rushing that like it's an integral part of his game. Like he just beat you through the air every single game. So I'd say no, but Lawrence made it sound much more fun to bet.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I already threw it in a little bit there. I'm not going to make anything crazy or a big bet, but yeah, I think there's opportunity. Like,
I'll tell you this
betting.
though. I'll tell you this. Sorry, there's only so many of those type of quarterbacks that you could bet on running in a touchdown. There, I believe it was the 2019 season. Every week I bet the Matt Ryan rushing touchdown. I forgot which week he got it, but it was maybe like week 10. It finally happened. And the odds were so good. It was like plus 1,500. I did it every week until it actually happened. So it won't be too many quarterbacks running in touchdowns unless you Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, somebody like that.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's a great point. Lord never lose, man. It's true. We'll get to some of these comment questions. Boris DeBlay, what time's kickoff? It's 8:20 Eastern time, my man. It's going to be a great game. It'll probably be a little late because, they got to do all the warm-ups and stuff. Do you think DK Metcalf outscores Courtland Sutton? What do you boys think? Kyle?
No, I don't think so. I was just full fade on the Seahawks all off season. I think with their offensive line concerns it's almost like, I don't even want to call it a concern. You're just like resigned to it probably not being good. The tackles played well in preseason, rookie tackles. So maybe there's some upside there that they actually sort of pull it together in a surprising way. But overall, I'm pretty bearish on the entire passing attack of Seattle. On the other hand, Russell Wilson playing with a coach who isn't like trying to call games like it's the 90s. Yeah, give me that.
Yeah. They definitely have the coach that's well equipped, and I'm definitely with you as far as that Seahawks offense, except DK Metcalf. I just can't. I can't let my mind let go of the fact that he got that talent like that, and he was
It's
effective
crazy.
in in minimal time with Geno Smith last year. He scored 5 touchdowns in those 3.5 games that Geno Smith started. So I have him on a lot of my fantasy teams is no better than my wide receiver 3. So that I feel pretty good. And when I say it's my wide receiver 3, that means my wide receiver 1 is Justin Jefferson. So in that aspect, I feel decent about it in this particular game, in this situation. Now that they have Geno Smith, who doesn't have the rushing ability like Russell Wilson does, I see them having to pass that rock. But you never know, Pete Carroll. These dudes might be down 4 touchdowns and still pounding the ball with Rashad Penny. You never know. But I'm just hoping that the talent break through in his case.
Yeah, no, I agree. DK Metcalf is a freak, man. Like he's everything you want in a prototypical wide receiver. But now you got a game manager in Geno Smith who didn't look bad last year. Like I don't think he's terrible, but
Yeah,
he's certainly not the
there
quarterback you
should
want
be
leading your
some concern.
franchise. Yeah, there's
There
concern.
should be
Trust me,
some
there's
concern.
concern. But Randy wants to know he's down 3.5 points. Sutton and Denver defense against Rashad Penny. I think he's good. I mean, if you lose, that's a sad night, bro. And you're gonna have some ice cream or something, bro. That's a sad night.
Yeah, I'd pick him to win here. Penny is so incredibly explosive though. Like there's definitely a chance he loses. But I mean, if you're just asking me like 50-50 who's got it, I take the Sutton Denver D team.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with y'all on that one because first off, you got the Denver defense, so your projection automatically gonna go up as soon as the game starts. So you're gonna start off with a certain amount of points. Anyway, if you get a Sutton touchdown, you good. You good. Yeah, there's
Definitely.
definitely
Or
gonna be some sacks in there. Maybe you get at least 8. I see at least a turnover happening in this game some way somehow. Like Penny would have to do something very decent for you not to win. But this is fantasy football and some crazy things didn't happen.
yeah, I could definitely see a turnover on both sides tonight. Both quarterbacks, they're game managers and everything, but they're going to take a couple deep shots. And, Seattle's a little vulnerable, so we'll see what happens. But Clark Kent, great name. Rank the Dak replacements. And do you guys think there's going to be a replacement traded in for Dak first off? But we got Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill, and Justin Fields. This is fantasy, obviously.
It's either Fields or Carr for me. I mean the change that having Devontae Adams for Derek Carr is like wild. Immediately, Devontae Adams gives them just like an alpha like they've never had. But I think I'll go Fields here. Just such an incredibly talented runner and looked better as a thrower in a game that game was awful. But he at least had a few decent hits. I think he threw for a touchdown as well. So I think just rushing alone is the cheat code. So I'll take Fields.
Yeah, I feel that same way about Fields too, but I'll go ahead and make a case for Derek Carr here. Like you mentioned, Devontae Adams, he didn't turn in a great fantasy day yesterday versus the Chargers because he threw the 3 interceptions. That's his first time doing that in 3 or 4 years or something. That's not gonna happen every game. You got the Raiders got Arizona coming up, the Tennessee Titans, who, they didn't look great on defense versus the Giants. You got the Chiefs, who you'll have to throw the ball against, the Houston Texans. So, with the Raiders and their arsenal, you got Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller there. So I would definitely feel good about those Derek Carr and Justin Fields much more than Carson Wentz or Matt Ryan. And I love me some Matt Ryan, but we got to keep it real here.
Yeah, I was shocked that Matt Ryan threw the ball, 50 times in the season opener for the Colts, but they had to because they were trailing to the Texans, went into overtime, all that nonsense. I don't think we can expect Matt Ryan to be throwing the ball 50 plus times in a Colts uniform, but I would say Derek Carr is by far the safest option here, and I would avoid Carson Wentz at all options. That's a safe one for me. Let's get to some more. We got some trade talk here. Would you trade CeeDee Lamb and DJ Chark for Keenan Allen? Is Keenan Allen going to be okay in week 2?
You want to take that one first, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's like nothing. If it was really bad, right, we would have pretty much come out. Those things kind of come out within like hours. Like it's literally right after the game if something truly bad has happened. But he was listed as DNP on Monday, does not practice. Monday reports for Thursday night games are just estimations. I don't even think they literally practice at all. So we'll learn more tomorrow. It's such a short turnaround that I kind of think he won't be playing in this game. If it was a full wait until Sunday, I'd feel a little better about it, obviously. So no, I wouldn't make this trade because even though CeeDee Lamb right now, his quarterback is Cooper Rush, who will probably be the worst starting quarterback next week. I think the Keenan Allen health thing is really what has me shook because I don't think he's playing this week. Then the week after that is probably what we're looking at. And for that reason, I think plus Chark, you just take the guys who are playing right now. And Lamb got a ton of targets. He just didn't do a ton.
Right. I would rather have the guy who's playing. Now, if Keenan Allen is questionable for Thursday, it doesn't play. You got to love that if you're a Keenan Allen fantasy manager. But as far as a trading, yeah, the quarterback situation got a little crazy in Dallas. But again, CeeDee Lamb is the one who's playing.
And this answer right here to this question, Rex Burkhead only. That's my answer. 71% of the snaps, week 1. Shot my Dameon Pierce round 5 and 6 selections to the ground. But I did grab Burkhead in all my leagues. Same approach as drafting someone to replace CMC or Dalvin Cook, the Madisons of the world, that type of thing. But do you guys think Burkhead is the obvious selection here, or would you go Wilson or Williams? Because I think we know Pinchero, however you pronounce his name, is not the right choice.
Yeah.
Pronouncing him like a fine Italian meat, a delicious pancetta. I will go Jeff Wilson because he plays on an offense that I still think, I mean, the week 1 performance the week 1 game of Chicago versus San Francisco was, it's one of the worst rain-based weather games we've seen since I think it was a San Francisco-Washington game, like in the past 5 to 8 years, where both teams almost gave up by the end. Like it was a completely unplayable game. And this kind of looked like that. So I wouldn't read too much into the offense not doing well. I mean, obviously there's more risk with Trey Lance under center than there was with Jimmy, who was a good, keep the ship on course type of guy. But I think given how efficient Shanahan's offenses have been and how incredible their running back production has been with anyone off the street, I would take their guy. And that's only because Rex Burkhead plays on what should be a pretty mediocre to bad team. Rex Burkhead definitely has the best role of any of these guys.
Yeah, Pacheco definitely out. Jamal Williams that's just too. If you don't get touchdowns, it ain't worth nothing. You want Rex Burkhead, like you said, the 71% snap share, out touching Dameon Pierce. Who knows how long it'll last, but it doesn't look like it's about to change right now. I would probably go there with it, although Jeff Wilson could be in there longer than we think. And we do know that when he's had his shot, he has performed as in every down. When it's like you look at him playing when he get his chance and you be like, how the hell is he a 4th string running back on this team?
He literally goes from inactive to getting 15 touches and all of the goal line work overnight. Man, they don't bring him to some games, and then when they need him, if he's on the active roster, the game day roster, they load him up. And one thing on Jamal Williams, I'm totally not buying him as the red zone guy. I had to blurb this game on Roto World for the site, and Jamal Williams, both of his touchdowns came within 4 to 5 plays of DeAndre Swift breaking a very long run and then getting pulled because he was gapped. Obviously, you break a 50-yard run, you're not playing the next play. So I really think those were just very odd circumstances as far as the red zone work goes. He's not their designated red zone back. He might come in sometimes for red zone work, but the 2 touchdowns he scored were only because DeAndre Swift was so good that they had to take him out to let him breathe.
So we taking old Rex.
That's a great breakdown. Hey, PPR, baby. I mean, Texans always going to be down for the most part. He could definitely be the PPR guy.
But let's go, Rex.
Yeah,
Rex about 37 years old, ain't he?
Oh, he's the no, I was gonna say he's the new Tom Brady, but we know that's not true. But Kyle, I do want to point out I wasn't able to say his last name. 23andMe, I got mine in 25% Italian. If I was 50% Italian, I'd have pronounced his name correct. That's a fact. Give some shout outs to some people here because they're in the chat. Gene D, that's Geno Smith's cousin. Seahawks
gotta
be the
be.
The 12th man gonna be up tonight though. They're gonna be rocking. Zach says Russ 300 yards. And Broncos 7. win by 7 or more. I don't know. If you really believe in Russ cooking, I guess you would throw in that bet for sure. But think about how many people in the United States of America are betting the Broncos -7 and Russell
that's what
Wilson
you
props
always
tonight.
got to take into consideration. And I feel like that's why we missed on Allen Robinson last week, because we was all ready
Yeah.
for it. All that 60 over under with his receiving yards. It looks so pretty when you're looking at it on your little betting app, and then it just did not happen. Broncos end up winning by like 3 points or something.
Yep. I was about to say, honestly, I got the Seahawks +13 and the under 50.5 in a teaser. I don't feel comfortable taking the Seahawks +6.5 or 7, just because I know there's the upside and the Broncos, the obviously better team. But I do like the under potential in this game, and I don't think it's going to be quite the blowout. I mean, like I said, Geno Smith, game manager, man. The club says he's not getting over 300 yards, man. Hey, I'm with you, bro. He
Wow,
says
that's
250 is a
it.
safer bet.
250 would be safe. So how about
You
this?
know,
We had
15 yards would be a safer bet too.
we had 300, and then we got 250. So how about we settle at 270? Because that's my play for it. But that's passing and rushing.
All right, well, break it down. What's the word?
Well, I mean, so the last guy who asked about, the 300, well, the Seahawks are returning the fifth worst pass defense from last season. And like we talked about earlier, they starting the 2 rookies. They'll get a lot of playing time there. Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen, 2 rookies that the Seahawks drafted this year in the draft. So, that's what they did to improve their defensive backfield, for the long haul. This is game 1. They're going to have to prove themselves, and they're going against the top tier quarterback with some pretty good receivers. So, that's why I like the 270. Now, if it was 270.5 just passing, I don't even think that line would even exist, but that's why they put the rushing yards with it. So I could see the 250-ish passing and an extra like 20 to 30 maybe rushing, because a guy like Russ might only run 2 times a game, and he runs when he really knows he has to run, and he could get that 20 to 30 yards in them 2 runs. That's why I like that bet for the night.
Yeah, like we said, we know if he gets near the red zone, he's taking himself. He's on a bootleg, some play action. He wants to score.
Albert O is standing wide open in the end zone. He's like, Russell, to me, right here. And Russ is like, no. He looks at Pete and he runs it in.
Wouldn't that be something? And then he'll say, you should have ran the ball.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, though. There's been plenty of times that I've bet quarterbacks over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and they've ran one in and finished with 1 passing, 1 rushing. And that happens quite often to me, I feel like. But that's kind of how I feel about Russell Wilson tonight. Like, if he's going to score 2 touchdowns, he's probably getting 1 on the ground. But I don't think there's going to be much scoring in this game. So I'm going with the under 44. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with Russell Wilson's record on Monday Night Football. It's pretty miraculous. He's 10-3 on the money line. He's 9-4 to the under. Very profitable trends. But what I found interesting, when he's the road quarterback on Monday Night Football, he's 5-1 to the under, and then he's 4-0 as the road favorite. So he has significant trends. And then Geno Smith, this guy, 4-0 to the under on Monday Night Football, lost 5 straight on Monday Night Football. And it's just like these trends are just screaming to me, like low scoring game. Monday Night Football last year, 7 straight unders to end the season. So, like I said, I got my teaser going, and I'm rolling with the under 44 in this game too. But I don't know, the cornerback situation, how you describe it, Lawrence, may make me a little nervous. But like I said, Pete Carroll is going to go hard week 1 at home. He's going to do it against Russell Wilson, his former quarterback, because they're going to be playing chess the entire game, in my opinion.
No, Pete Carroll's going to scheme to stop the run game, because that's what his opinion of Russell Wilson is. You manage Russell Wilson by running the football. He doesn't respect Russell Wilson. That's why Russell Wilson doesn't play for Pete Carroll anymore. So his scheme is like, Russell Wilson, a gimmick system quarterback. Let's stop Melvin Gordon in this game.
Yeah, and look, we also can't underestimate the fact that this is the Broncos offense. This is a new offense getting together. So everything might not. Now, if they come out hitting on all cylinders, then you better watch out for the rest of the season. Even though this is the Seahawks, if they come out doing what they're supposed to do and firing all cylinders with their, with their new quarterback, with his new receivers, then you better watch out then. Because if you get if everything don't click in week 1, you could just be like, all right, give them some time. But if it clicks in week 1, you like, damn, they already at this point. So, but it should be, people got to get used to, playing in the game together, and this guy knowing his role and this guy getting his reps. That's more so why I like the under as well.
I'll take it. I'll take anything I can get in this position because I'm going to need it. Betting unders is so sweaty. But prime time is usually the way to go. Kyle, drop a prop for the people.
Speaking of sweaty, I have a grimy prop, 9.5 receiving yards for Travis Homer. But it was very clear in throughout the offseason and in training camp, even in the preseason, that they want Homer to be their third down, passing downs type of back. And they're going to be in passing downs, pretty often in this game, because by the second half, probably going to be losing. So to me, Homer, when Rashad Penny is just completely dead as a pass catcher, he just doesn't do it at all. And the team made it very clear that they don't plan on using him that way. Homer as the pass catching back in a game where there's going to be a lot of passing opportunities. 9.5 is a pretty low line for him, honestly.
I love these type of bets, man, because, when you get these receiving yard props on running backs, what draws you is knowing that they could get it on one screenplay, one pass, one check down, so I'm definitely with it in his role, especially when there's no Kenneth Walker there.
That's true. And his role is going to increase a lot tonight. And Kyle, you came through with the sweaty one for us last week. Tyler Higbee over 4.5 receptions. Yeah. He like the last 2 drives when they were driving like down all those points, they just started feeding Higbee. And I was cracking.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you get back in games. You got Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson on the field, and you're like, feed Higbee.
He would have killed that over if he didn't drop the passes that he was dropping. Mm-hmm. That's what made you have to sweat it out. Like, he was getting targeted, but he was dropping passes.
I got first play of game pass. And as soon as I saw the Bills get the ball, I was like, that's what we needed. Because if the Rams get it, it's a lot more nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I thought about that when we got off, and I was like, that's such a great bet. It does definitely derive on if the Bills get the ball first. Mm-hmm. We saw the Rams run first.
Yes.
But obviously, you're on the right side. So I tailed. That was the most exciting part about my night, honestly. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Definitely a good bet by Kyle there.
Yeah, Kyle's been sharp, man. When we were doing the USFL videos, he was crushing the competition. Lawrence, you were included in that. Sorry to bring that up, brother.
Lawrence got too close with me. My first 5 weeks of USFL was dominant. Lawrence and I had a much more competitive affair.
Yeah.
Lawrence, I'm gonna just let that one slide. But everybody that's
watching, we did. I don't remember the exact record, but I think we tied.
It was close. Vaughn, was it you and me on early for the first 5 weeks? I think I slaughtered you.
Yeah, that was you and Corey. I was
it was Corey. Oh, you're right. Oh yeah. I definitely rolled. I beat Corey up good.
Yeah, you were definitely just it was a massacre. It was bad, man. But hey, keep it rolling in the NFL, my friend. We love it. But everyone that's in the comments, definitely get some more questions in for us, guys. If you guys did not know or you didn't participate last week, you could have joined the Roto World League with these 2 gentlemen in the NBC Sports Digital app. You could play SN7, Sunday Night 7, every Sunday. Everyone here at Roto World. There's a $100,000 jackpot. All you got to do is grab your phone, go to the NBC Sports Digital app, click Leagues, access code ROTO22. That's ROTO22. And you guys get to play with these gentlemen. So hopefully you guys beat them last week. Couple questions in here. James Robinson, legit running back 2 after this week. I hate this question because I sat Robinson. I played Etienne. I even played Dameon Pierce over James Robinson, so I'm an idiot. Chill out, man. What do you guys think?
Our RB2 is tough, but definitely a flex play, right?
That's kind of where I'd have him too, yeah.
Yeah, flex play. Now, I have James Robinson in most of my leagues and sat him in everyone. There's no shame in sitting him in week 1 because you you kind of had to see it. Now, I'm not one of these people who thought that because of what happened to Cam Akers, I thought it was going to happen.
I was going to make this connection. Yeah.
People are killing me with that. Like, these are two different guys in two different situations. But so yeah, John Gregory, I wouldn't say, he's a legit RB2 because that's a guy you're depending on heavily every single week right there in that spot. But you definitely got to steal because you probably got him in double-digit rounds. So you definitely could throw him in there in the flex. And while he is the early down back and ETN is the pass-catching back, we do know James Robinson is able to catch the ball out of the backfield. He's done it in the past. One of his touchdowns was a touchdown catch, even though it was his only catch for 3 yards. But we know he's capable. But definitely throw him in that flex.
Yeah, to me, I mean, I probably won't have him ranked in my top 24 running backs when we do our rankings. Yeah, I think those come out like Wednesday or something. But he's almost locked to be in the top 36. So I agree. He's flexing. He's a pretty strong flex option. But there's still at least 24 backs I'm probably playing over him.
And I'll just make the comment too. That touchdown that James Robinson had, I definitely envisioned that type of play call being for Travis Etienne.
He had it though. He had it. He dropped it
earlier in the game.
Yeah, he had one.
Okay, see, I missed that.
Trevor Lawrence had him a couple. So he definitely left some points on the board, ETN, and he definitely had. That's why it's going to be a true committee, is where they're both going to have an opportunity. Both of them are flex plays. It's not like one is going to make one worse. They're both going to get their opportunities. You just got to hope that your guy is in when you get near that goal line, because Trevor Lawrence will throw to the run. Like, he was looking for both of these running backs near the goal line.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I'm gonna start believing. I don't want to, but I'm gonna start believing in James Robinson.
He ran hard, ran well too.
He had some attitude with his runs. But shout out to Justin. No pitcher props. This is my face to that question, Lisa Simpson. But I'll say this, Justin. If you bet Dylan Cease AL Cy Young for us, we got him at 10-1. He's now the favorite at -140 over Verlander. We got Spencer Strider on a 3-unit bet to win NL Rookie of the Year. He is the favorite and pitching tonight. So if you're riding that Spencer Strider tonight, I'd probably do a little something with him. But baseball season, goodbye. Unless we're cashing these futures, then hello, beautiful. Well, would Rashad Penny go over 100+ yards? That would be beautiful. That would be a big money bet. But I'm not willing to commit to that at all.
I'm not either.
I just think the Seahawks are going to be so bad this year. I'm not betting on any single one of these
Remember
guys.
The guy that was asked us the question earlier about, do you think Sutton in the Denver Broncos D will outdo?
That's right.
Penny? You would need a 100-yard game from Penny, plus probably a touchdown for something like that to even happen. So that'll be man, that's rough. I mean, we got a top 10 returning defense getting players back. Like Bradley Chubb, adding Randy Gregory, already got Draymond Jones in that front seven. Nah.
Yeah, I love the shirt, by the way. I just realized that was the White Castle hamburgers, because I just saw the White Castle.
Yeah,
but
man,
I love it.
Right,
Kyle, what's the swag on? We can't see the little logo there. You got anything good on to share with us?
This is a shirt from a brewery in Columbus, and it's painted up like the Columbus Crew, the soccer team.
The soccer team, yeah.
All right, respect. Shout out to Columbus. If you guys are watching, drop where you're from. Let us shout out your county, your hometown, your state, your school, whatever it may be. Shout out to Justin. We do appreciate for the picture comment as always. Justin says, Trevor Lawrence overthrew James Robinson. You guys are wrong. I'm probably wrong. And Lawrence's reaction, we got some good comments here. So really the floor is yours, guys. Before we talk a little bit more about the game in depth or any more plays we have for DFS, start them and sit them. Answer Clark. Clark, we appreciate you for being so active tonight, my man. It's always good to have tons of questions to answer. And these are 4 very interesting receivers in fantasy.
Let's see, rank Curtis Samuel, DJ Chark, Jahan Dotson, who's on the team with Curtis Samuel, and Devin Duvernay and Robbie Anderson. So DJ for me, Devin Duvernay, I would put him. I will put Robbie Anderson at the back. Then I will put Devin Duvernay at number 4. And then I put DJ Chark. And I had the 2 Washington dudes, 1 and 2. I like the involvement that both of those guys had. DJ Chark, if we talking rest of the season, I know he had a drop during the game. That doesn't really bother me, but how many times they're going to have games like they had against the Eagles? Well, hell, maybe a lot if they're going to be behind all the time.
They've got a good line, a good game managing quarterback, good receivers and running backs. So like they have the makings of a like above average offense, and their defense should get roasted every single game. So they could actually be playing in a lot of fun games.
Do you like him, Kyle, above all of these receivers?
I still think I'd take Dotson over him, but I would take him too. I'd be a little less bullish on Samuel because he was not clearly, but he seemed to be the team's third receiver. I know he like scored 2 touchdowns, or actually Dotson scored 2 touchdowns, but Samuel had a touchdown as well, and I think led the team in catches or yards. But Dotson ran more routes, and Dotson's a player who, as a first round rookie, you'd expect his role to grow, and I think it grows at the expense of Samuel. But my list was basically, just had Curtis Samuel lower, Dotson higher, and the same after that.
Yeah, the reason I had Robbie Anderson last and Duvernay above him is simply because of the quarterback. That's pretty much what their games are going to be hit and miss, So I don't know when's the next time we're going to see Devin Duvernay score 2 touchdowns. I actually threw him in the DFS lineup this weekend because I only had 5,000 left on FanDuel, so I threw Devin Duvernay in there, and it worked out. But yeah, man, solid ranking there from you as well.
No, yeah, I like that a lot. I would definitely go. I like Dotson the most. I was impressed by him for sure. So I'm looking forward to him. He was a Penn State product, am I right?
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and it's hard to be a good Penn State receiver with who they got throwing the ball out there. So shout out to Justin. Shout out to Strong Island, New York. I thought that was going to be Staten Island. I was going to have a Pete Davidson joke, but it didn't work out for me. But attitude is everything. These guys will tell you. I know Lawrence. I met Lawrence a couple weeks ago. Mr. Positive Vibes as well. Goes a long way in life, in my opinion. And then our guy, Nunez, says, hook me up with a winning lineup showdown because he doesn't want to work anymore. He wants to get rich playing DraftKings. Honestly, is that not the goal?
Well, if you're going to get rich, because the thing is, the good lineups are the lineups you don't want to play on the big DraftKings contest. I was trying to remember who the Penn State quarterback was, and I was like, he's like
Sean Clifford. Name, right? I was trying to think. It's so forgettable for him being 6 years there. I'm just like, can this be over, please?
Yeah.
But, anyways, go ahead, Kyle.
You got to play some really bad lineups if you want to like ship the millie on DraftKings solo, because like I don't care if I play the cash lineup, it wins, and me and like 3,000 of my best friends chop for like $2,000, right? Like I'm going big. So let's say you're gonna want you want Mike Boone and Will Dissly in that lineup is the answer. We get a lot of garbage time for Will Dissly, and it is such a bad blowout that the third running back for the Broncos comes in. Yeah, this is like the Pacheco theory. Pacheco
that's just what I was about to say.
All of his touches in the second half and really just in the fourth quarter. He looked good while doing it too, probably because the Cardinals had also given up on that game. So that's what we're betting for. If you want to like literally be the only person playing this lineup, if you don't care and you just want like a lineup that has a high projection, Judy Captain, Russell Wilson, and Javonte, and fill out the rest with hopefully still more Broncos.
Yeah, those are tough, man. When you win like $10 in one of these things, you did extremely well.
Yeah, I know. I like that a lot. And he actually got Will Dissly in there. Look, this guy's a sharp.
Mike Boone is truly the most degenerate. I think Will Dissly is perfectly reasonable levels of degenerate. Mike Boone is like the last year, every showdown slate, the third fullback on the team was catching a touchdown. It was trash tight ends and fullbacks every single game. Like Alec Ingold had a showdown touchdown. All these like Tommy Sweeney, I think, had a showdown touchdown. And these are the types of plays that you need to like solo ship first. And on FanDuel, there's just no, like you can actually happen over the weekend, but it's just even harder because there are only 5 spots.
Was that none your damn business who had that question? None your damn business. Yeah, there you go. If you win
you put that together. I didn't even try.
Yeah. I like that name, by the way. None your damn business.
Like Nunya Dambindnes?
I said Nunya.
I say that a lot, so it was easy for me to decipher that. None of your damn business. If you win that, you're gonna have to go and hook up my boy Kyle with something for Christmas right there.
I love that. I thought this was a really cool question. Now, Steelers fan here, so Najee Harris. I feel like, if you can get him in a trade, I'd definitely be open to working something out with somebody. How do you guys feel? I wouldn't want CeeDee Lamb though. But how do you guys feel about these two guys in general? Would you be willing to make some deals for them?
I mean, I would if people are like actually willing to do it. If people are, mad after week 1 about what Aaron Jones did, yeah, I'll trade for Aaron Jones quickly. And if Najee Harris is going to play, which it sounds like he is as of today,
yeah,
I want that too. I want that volume. He scored a touchdown. Now, CeeDee Lamb, I don't know, man, because that next 6 to 8 weeks,
we got to get Jimmy in there. Someone get SEAL Team 6 to pick up Jimmy and send him straight to Texas.
I would not do it if I was the Niners. I would not do it. I'd be holding him captive. Whenever I need him, he's here.
I don't think that's going to be tough because they're like long-time non-division rivals right there. Like they go way back to the 90s. So if they did that, then that would be something right there. It would be, but with the offseason that we've had, anything on the table.
Yeah, and the Niners, the contract, it was a pay cut essentially. It was a pay cut that allowed Jimmy to find a good trade spot. That's exactly what they did this thing for. It was to keep a decent backup, but it was really just to make him tradable because a team trading for him up until the contract restructure was paying him like $24 million. And you just that is just a complete non-starter. Where now it's a few million, but he gets to pick the trade partner because he has no trade clause. So I think their offseason, very obviously, even up until the midnight hours, has been designed around finding an eventual trade partner for Jimmy. And if not now, when? A team that is competing like Dallas without a quarterback, that's the perfect that's the only team. We're down to really just them, right? Unless because they're not trading him to Seattle. That's the other team with bad stars, and they're not trading him.
There's someone out there. There's someone out there.
Who do you think where do you think he's going?
Mason Rudolph, baby. Bring him to Dallas.
Oh, no.
Have a good time.
Do they want to actually have a chance?
Have a good time.
No, we're looking for a quarterback upgrade, not a quarterback downgrade.
Or that's like side hustling right there. That what you call that side hustling.
I'm not going to lie. I went to Steelers camp, like I said, multiple times, 2 times this year. I had some family go. Every time I went, they went. Everyone said Mason Rudolph looked better of the 3. And reporters were saying that, but there's no chance. Mason Rudolph already had his experience with the Steelers. That's why he won't be the starter. Obviously, he's not the starter. But all I'm saying is if it happens, you heard it here first.
There were rumors of that in the offseason because obviously he has no utility to them. He's the 3rd string quarterback. Exactly. There were rumors that teams were kind of interested in him, and he would be both financially and even trade pick wise cheaper to acquire. So I could totally see that. Falls in line with offseason stuff. Yeah. I just think he's better than Cooper Rush. I'm giving you a hard time. He's better than Cooper Rush. He's just not better enough that I would it gets me to feel good.
Gets you excited about it, like a 6th-round pick for Mason Rudolph, and you're like, did I win this deal?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I understand, but we'll see what happens here. The Riggs brothers, yo,
what it do?
Thanks for being here. Nunya says, ho ho son, I got you. Can't wait to see what Kyle gets from Santa Claus. But hey, why don't you guys drop your stardom and sit-ups for tonight so people are playing the fantasy lineups. They can hopefully make some money with the boys.
For sure. I'm going to go back to a guy we talked about earlier. Again, I'm trusting the talent in the game script right here. I'm going to start DK Metcalf in DFS. He's probably cheaper than he's ever been. So you could roll with him there. And so in that same fashion, I would sit Noah Fant. Only because, I don't know what Geno's rapport with him is. I don't even think I've seen him throw him a pass yet. So give me the Geno and DK Metcalf connection. Hopefully that'll make the game interesting for folks.
Yeah, I had this exact sit-em actually, and I was like, it's the good one of this. If you drafted DK Metcalf, I'm down on this passing attack, but at this point, there's probably nothing else you can do. I would take both of the Denver pass catchers over the Seahawks pass catchers if you have that decision to make. But I think there's maybe there's a chance you have Albert O versus Noah Fant, and I would take Albert O all day. So I was trying to think about things that like realistically, like I can't tell you to sit Russell Wilson right now. Your other option is pick up Geno Smith. There's no more. We're at the end of the week, but
we don't want to do quarterbacks.
There's not many like start sit decisions left. You've already made those, but maybe there's some people out there considering starting Noah Fant over Albert O and do just like lay up Albert O.
No, I like that. Definitely intriguing to hit the tight end market. Worked out last week for you guys, so I'll take it there. Last week, though, we all had the same guy as our highest point scorer, and it did not work out at all. Allen Robinson was probably the lowest point scorer. Even my boy Isaiah McKenzie put up more points than him. Man, y'all were dissing on Isaiah, but it's whatever.
I like Isaiah. He still didn't really do nothing. He got that little slant in the end zone. Like,
he did more than Allen Robinson, though. But I would have forgave Allen Robinson if he would have scored a touchdown on that last Rams play. They tried to give him the hookup leading into week 2, give him a little bit of confidence, and he let us all down. So, if he doesn't score week 2, I'm definitely off the Allen Robinson train forever. Who are you guys going as your highest point scorer this time?
I'm going to go here with Melvin Gordon because he's going to get 2 goal line touchdowns. He is my first touchdown scorer, but I got him his highest fantasy score because of those 2 touchdowns he's going to get, just like Jamal Williams did, except his running back mate, Javonte Williams, won't do anything like what DeAndre Swift did because Swift is way better. So I got Melvin Gordon. He might, maybe he might get around 50, 60 rush yards, maybe even more. Who knows? Melvin Gordon could still break that thing away. But I got him. So I'm going to ride with Uncle Melvin today. So it's on you, my friend Kyle. I like yours too, by the way.
Yeah, I like yours so much that you can get Melvin Gordon plus 450 on FanDuel to lead the game in rushing yards, which I think both of the Broncos backs are just better bets than Penny for all the reasons I've trashed the Seattle Seahawks. But to lead the game in fantasy scoring, Jerry Jeudy, who I think has just like limitless might be a little bit of a strong word, but incredibly strong potential looking back at how he performed in college. And I get it. He's been, I think, no way to tiptoe around it, disappointing since he had in the NFL. The Broncos have also been pretty disappointing since Jerry Jeudy entered the NFL with them. Now paired up with Russell Wilson, who I love how their skill sets match up. I think this could be like just a 17-game breakout season for him starting tonight. So I like Jerry Jeudy to be the highest fantasy scorer.
You also got that too, alternate receiving yards. You got Jeudy at 100 for plus 430. That's something to think about.
Yeah, I know you got that one there as your long shot. I definitely like that. I mean, if there's going to be one guy to get 100-plus yards, a lot of people are talking about Courtland Sutton and that connection he has with Russell Wilson, but I still feel like Jerry Jeudy's the better receiver of the two. I did like Kyle's long shot as well for most receiving yards because we talked about him a little bit. KJ Hamler.
Yeah, I like KJ Hamler, not because I think his role is going to be like incredible in this offense, but he has the profile of a guy who goes out and like I bet his under on receiving yards could also be a fine bet with this being a fine bet because his distribution is going to look like closer to bimodal than most other wide receivers getting a reasonable amount of volume. Like he can lead this game in receiving yards off of 3 catches, right? Because I think he's just going to come in and play only the deep stuff of the Tyler Lockett role combined with Russell Wilson. Like that gives him potential to lead this game in receiving yards. And like, I'm just not betting on any of the Seahawks to be these guys. So I don't mind any of the Broncos side, but particular, I think Hamler's got a bit of value on this long shot.
I kind of want to steal the Melvin Gordon to lead the game in rushing one. I think that's like my new favorite thing from what I've heard from the show, because I think it's a very sharp angle of attacking them. I went with a very wild and out type of team prop. And I think overtime. Russell Wilson in Seattle, one time only, possibly. I mean, hey, I think it's going to be one hell of a game. Monday Night Football, boys. Way to end. We saw really good overtime games.
Hey, that's worth a couple dollars. That's worth a couple dollars right there.
Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy.
Don't go crazy.
But no, I like that. We got a minute remaining. Definitely want to say thank you to everybody. You guys did have one more play each, so you might as well just run through it. We'll thank everybody. Lawrence, we'll start with you. It was Rashad Penny.
Yeah, Rashad Penny to go under 67.5 rushing yards. Like I mentioned, the Broncos defense coming back, top 10 defense. They were middle of the pack rush defense, but like I said, they're getting players back. They've added players. Seahawks may have to throw. Give me the under there.
All right. And Kyle, I definitely did not like yours. It was too much for me, but go ahead, lay the people on it.
Yeah, Penny just does not in any fashion catch passes. Like Pat Kerrane was saying that he ran routes without being targeted for so long that he had to make like a special spreadsheet specifically for him. He only got over 1.5, 2 times last year. And I know he didn't, really get hot until the end of the season, but he was hot for the final 6 or 7 games. And he only got over 1 twice. So he's a fine running back. He's really good between the tackles, but he's like a Damian Harris, Sony Michel level pass catcher.
We're just running.
That's all he does.
That is a sweat. Under 1.5 receptions, though. Lock it in, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate everyone that watched with us. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Very easy to do right below this video. That is Lawrence Jackson, Lord Don't Lose. That is Kyle Dvorchak. Kyle tweets here on Twitter. I am Vaughn Dalzell at V-Money Sports. Thursday night, we run it back. 1 more hour, the 3 of us. Make sure you guys join in, drop your Q&As, and on Saturdays we do college football. So best of luck with your fantasy matchups. Hope you guys win some money with your bets as well. And we'll see you guys on Thursday.